Hey everyone, Joey Baby here. This is just a remake of a Puyo skip video I made a couple months back. I've learned a lot more of this trick since then, so I'm willing to just make this video, give this another shot, and hopefully I don't have to do something like this again. I hope I get all the points through. So this skips the Puyo boss for Chemical Plant Zone Act 2. And we're gonna skip it with Sonic+Tails. But I want to make a couple facts clear before we start. This works in all major versions of the game, whether it's PC, Switch, PS4, or Xbox One, as well as the version of the game, Sonic Mania Plus, all the way down to the first version of the game that was released. The second point, this trick, I'll get into detail of specifically why this matters, but for now, every attempt that's done doing this trick must be done with the timer set to 0 from the start. And what that means is when you mess up a trick or you're just attempting it, it's important to just restart the whole level and start all over with the timer set to 0 from the start. That's how you want to do it. And whenever you mess up, it's probably best to either just play through the stage normally or get to the spot where this trick starts with debug mode. Now you might want to know what this is. This is dev menu, and this is point number 3. For PC runners of this game, or anyone who's doing this trick on PC, you can enable dev menu by right-clicking Sonic Mania on Steam, going to Properties, Local Files, and Browse Local Files. And then within that, you can look at a file called settings.ini on Notepad, or any other equivalents where you can open said file and edit the text, and add the line dev menu equals Y between game and language, which has the visual on screen right now. So what that allowed you to do is easily have access to level select and accessing debug mode on the fly without having to do any tinkering, which is just convenience. So without further ado, we can just start. Don't need to worry about the information on the left and the bottom sides of the screen you see. Those will come to light and will make sense when we get further on this tutorial. So normally we would go this top path up here and do Puyo from there, but we're not going to do that. We're going to skip Puyo. Let's turn off debug mode for this. That'll be more convenient. So we take this path over here, and there is a spot where we want to manipulate Tails for a path swap switch. And what path swaps are is essentially invisible triggers that changes the collision of the level. And there's a mechanic to this game where if Tails grabs Sonic while he's in a different path swap, that gets transferred over to Sonic, so he can be at a different collision path swap, so to speak, in a spot of the level where he's not intended to have it. So we can see Tails is parallel to Sonic above him, and what we want to do is grab him while we're still in the bottom layer. So what we're gonna do is full jump, and as we're descending from our full jump, we want to press jump again while holding up. This allows Tails to fly, and then once we land, we want to jump up again, grab Tails, and he gives us his path swap. And which happens is now we're gonna have different collision in this room right here. So I'm gonna pause for a second and just showcase this, or visually tell you what's going on. So these little pipes here, if we were in the normal collision as intended, this would be completely solid. But because Tails gave us the incorrect path swap in this room, there are little openings in this tube that we can walk straight through. We're gonna use that to get under this tube below. There's a tube below right here, which we can just clip through, get out of bounds, and get to the capsule. There's gonna be a lot of steps for that to work, but we're gonna go step by step. So there is an image of Tails, 2 images in fact, that shows Tails in 2 different spots of this spot where I am right now. We need to have him in a certain spot to hit this syringe with his spin dash. So what we're going to do here is full jump like the last trick, and as we're descending, have him fly, and right when we're about to land, jump and hold down, which what that allows us to do is when we jump back up, Tails doesn't grab us. And once Tails land, as you're still holding down, press jump, which will allow him to spin dash. And we want to have Sonic in our control as he's spin dashing. And you might be noticing that I'm moving left and right while holding down. In this game, you can continuously hold down while you're moving to keep Sonic in your control. Because if you crouch while he's spin dashing, there's no way to get him out unless you let go of down, which lets go of spin dash, and that ruins the whole trick. So from here, we want to scale down to that syringe and get to the bottom tube where we're standing. So we want to walk out of this, and once we land, turn left. And once we pass the center of the syringe, hold left. And now we're stuck down here. Now I'm going to pause for a second. So if you've played this game, there's gel in the way, and what that does is dark blue gel damages you, light blue gel makes you bounce a little, green gel makes you shoot straight up. There's a syringe which changes that color into the color that's inside, injected into the syringe. In between the transition of the colors, there's a few frames where the gel is intangible, so you can just walk straight through it, which we want to get through the moment is intangible to the right side of the tube to clip through the wall. Unfortunately, it's not as easy as it sounds, because without getting into too much detail, the syringe checks every 4 frames when the syringe is fully pressed down to make the gel intangible. So it's hard to accurately know the exact frame when it'll be intangible. But luckily, I have made a little program on the left side of the screen, which you can see right here. What this does is, if you calculate the time that you're in position right now, as long as you have started the level at exactly 0, 0, 0, Tails is in position and you're under this spot, the numbers that you've received here works. So it's a frame perfect trick. The frame that you pause in, you have to keep a mental note of that. So I'm going to unpause while still holding down, so I keep Tails in place, so I can find a pause that works for me. So 3:31:83. So from that, 3:31:83, boom, gives us 2 results. Transition time means it accounts for if you're transitioning from Act 1 to Act 2. This is only useful in runs, so unless you're in an actual run attempt, this is not a number you pay attention to, unless you're in a run. If you're in a practice attempt, or just from a fresh restart like I'm doing now, you pay attention to the no transition time, which doesn't account for the Act 1 to Act 2 transition. So this is the pause that we want to catch. I'm going to try that. And before we unpause, we want to not hold down. So once we unpause, Tails will release his spin dash to the syringe. Got it. Alright, so at this frame, you want to hold right after this unpause. This is the right frame for Tails to hit the syringe at the right time, as well as have Sonic just a frame before the gel becomes intangible, which will allow us to get through the gel at the earliest point. And once we get through the gel, we need to catch a 3-frame pause, which you can see the 3 frames below. Alright, so does this satisfy any of the 3 frames? Yes, it does. It is the first frame on the left. So from that, what we have to do now is unpause and let go of all directional input. From that, that's just right to clip through. But that's only the first part of Puyo's skip. We still have to get to the capsule. So after this, you just mash jump to clip up this wall, come down, land here, drop dash. And now you're in the top portion of the Puyo boss. Puyo is literally below us. And now we need to get up here The capsule is over this tube, but there's no way to get through it. Now, there is a little quirk in the partner mechanic, whereas sometimes Tails can clip in walls. So what we want to do here is do the same thing, jump upwards, and have Tails fly. But once we initiate his flight, we want to hold down so we don't get grabbed by him. And once we get grabbed, or once we land after he's still in flight mode, we want to be under this spot of the wall. So there's collision of this corner of the wall here, and we want Sonic to stand around the yellow here. And once we stand here, we want to continuously jump to get Tails stuck on the corner of the top of the tube, and mash right at least 3 or 4 times. I'll explain more why in a minute, but let's try to get it. You can tell that Tails' flight just ended prematurely because he is actually clipped in the wall. Tails tries his best to get behind you, so when you're mashing right, he wants to desperately get behind you. So he slightly clips into the wall while you're in the spot you're in. So from now, you want to get Tails up there. So the plan is to get Tails to hit the capsule himself while you're not even there. So what we want to do now is hold right and immediately jump. So you are on the right side of this wall. And once you hear Tails either jump or hit a spring, you want to tap left. Ever so slightly. That will position Tails to be standing on the right side of this tube, looking right, facing the capsule. So we're going to try to do that. Now if we got that right, he should be facing right on the right side. That's perfect. If there's any off chance you mess this up, you can jump, hug this left wall, and just wait. He should fix himself. Now, from here, all you gotta do is hold down, 3 tap spin dash, and immediately hold jump. And that's Puyo skip. So the off chance Tails is not looking the right way or is in the left, all you have to do is jump, hug the left wall, and just wait. Tails should fix himself. There we go. And the procedure is still the same. Hold down, 3 tap spin dash, and hold jump. There you go. That is Puyo skip. Also, the link of this program I'm using on the left will be in the description. I hope I've answered any questions you guys probably had concerned over this trick. But yeah, thanks for watching. See ya.